All right, guys, welcome back to another video. So it's been a wild weekend. It's just out of nowhere when it comes to Xbox news specifically. And I'm sure everybody is aware at this point the talk that's been going around on social media and been going around the internet about Xbox bringing a critically acclaimed game over to the Nintendo Switch. There were rumors going around. People were saying that the Xbox was going to be announcing that they were going to be bringing more games over to other platforms. People were suggesting that they were bringing games over to PlayStation. And then some insiders put some information out there, or so-called insiders, depending on how you determine their track record, how many things they've gotten right, how many things they've gotten wrong, whether they're just good guesses or not. I mean, that's kind of up to each individual when they're looking at this. So always take these things with a grain of salt, because none of this has been officially announced by Xbox. This is all still just in the rumors. But the information out now from the insiders is that Hi-Fi Rush is going to be making its way over to the Nintendo Switch. So we have this here from Insider Gaming, and it says that rumors and claims have begun to surface that the Xbox exclusive Hi-Fi Rush will be coming to the Nintendo Switch later this year. Nate the Hate, they say, has a strong track record when it comes to insider information. First kicked off the rumors by announcing it on his podcast that a high critical acclaim Xbox first party title will come to a competitor in 2024. And then the leaker, or the insider on Reset Era user Lalelo, I don't know if I said that correctly, is suggesting as well that the game that is coming to the other platform is going to be Hi-Fi Rush, and it is going to be coming over to the Nintendo Switch. Somebody on Reset Era was responding to this, and they said, I bet it's Hi-Fi Rush coming over to the Nintendo Switch. And Lalelo quoted that and said, and you'll win, basically saying that that is what is going to be happening, that Xbox is going to be announcing that Hi-Fi Rush will be making its way over to the Nintendo Switch. And this has just a ton of people talking, a ton of people upset, people confused, all of these types of things. And I will say the one thing when it comes to this, and I guess this is my opinion on this entire thing when it comes to Hi-Fi Rush potentially coming over to the Nintendo Switch, is throughout the life of this channel, I've always said there is no benefit to the consumer when other people do not get to play games. So Hi-Fi Rush going over to the Nintendo Switch does not affect Xbox gamers in the slightest, because you're still able to play this game on Xbox Game Pass Day One. You're still going to be able to play it on your Xbox and have it available wherever the Xbox ecosystem is. What it is doing now, though, is it's just getting more people to jump in and play this game on the Switch, which I think at the end of the day for Xbox, they're probably looking at this and thinking, if we could put this game on the Switch, it will be a game that is very popular in places like Japan, and you'll have a bunch of people loading it up on the Nintendo Switch and realizing it is an Xbox game, potentially attracting more customers over to the Xbox platform to check out what other games they have. On top of that, it's probably a game, because it is more of a niche game, that did not make as much money as they wanted it to make. And now that it's stagnating in terms of sales and in terms of user engagement, they put it out on a platform that is massive. Those things will definitely increase, and they'll be able to cash in more. So when it comes to the business side of things, I understand why they want to put a game like Hi-Fi Rush on the Nintendo Switch itself. And on top of that, Hi-Fi Rush is a game that absolutely was in development before Xbox purchased Bethesda. So this is a game that more than likely was already having a Nintendo Switch build in the works, probably had a PlayStation build in the works as well. And then Xbox comes in, they purchase them, and they say, you're going to release this game only in the Xbox ecosystem for a certain amount of time, if this rumor is true. I mean, this rumor could still not be true, and it may never actually come to the Nintendo Switch, but we do have this information here when it comes to the actual announcements about Hi-Fi Rush. They say that a decision was made to tease it at E3 2020, but when that event was canceled, the can was kicked further down the road. Likewise, when Microsoft purchased Bethesda, they say, we were looking at times to announce it so we wouldn't get overshadowed by something. We wanted to hype it, but not get people too excited or give too much of a chance to jump on it. And then that period just got shorter and shorter. So this wasn't a game that was supposed to be shadow dropped. last year at the Xbox event. It was a game that they were going to announce and do the regular marketing cycle for it. And I'm sure if Xbox did not purchase Bethesda, they would have announced this game for multi-platform coming out onto the Nintendo Switch. So I would almost bet they already had these builds pretty much in the works. And you would probably think they probably went to Xbox and said, we have these builds in the works. It will take us not that much more time, resources, money, development, all that type of stuff to get these into a condition where we can actually release these for these platforms. And we're projecting that if we do release this game on the Nintendo Switch specifically, we will make X amount of money. And Xbox is probably like, well, the niche game, the smaller game, it's not one of the mainline titles for Xbox. Let's put it out there and let's just get more people playing Xbox games. So I can totally understand them wanting to do this from a business perspective. Now, on the other side of the coin, Xbox has a huge issue with their messaging, with their marketing. And this isn't something that is now. This isn't something that everyone's talking about this now. Like, oh, Xbox has a marketing and messaging issue. They've had a marketing and messaging issue for a long time. I've always said that their marketing department is probably one of the worst parts at Xbox. They just aren't good at promoting their games. They aren't good at getting messages out there and getting enough hype up for their platform. They have the best value in gaming and Game Pass, and there are still people you can go out there and talk to, and they'll have no idea how good Xbox Game Pass is. And I think there's a huge issue with marketing and a huge issue with messaging. And this kind of just makes that issue bigger, because every time Xbox announces a game, there is always a question as to whether this game is only going to be on the Xbox ecosystem. We just saw this happen with Blade. I thought that was bad messaging at the Game Awards when they didn't put an Xbox logo at the trailer, and then they put in a logo later with the YouTube trailer. And this is the same thing, because now people are always going to be asking themselves, if a game comes out from Xbox, how long until it comes out onto the Nintendo Switch? Or is this game only going to be an Xbox ecosystem exclusive? This whole game to game decision making that Xbox is doing in terms of where they're going to be putting games on other platforms is just very confusing for the consumer base and very confusing for the core Xbox fan. And I can completely understand as a core Xbox fan why that would be frustrating. It's even frustrating for me as somebody who is totally in agreement where I don't care if other people on their platforms get to play the same games I get to play, because it does nothing to my experience. Xbox is still the best value. You still have Game Pass. It's still in Game Pass day and date, which isn't going to be available on the Nintendo Switch. So it doesn't really matter to me. But as messaging and marketing, they definitely have an issue, and they definitely need to work that out. It would be great that if this week Phil Spencer comes out and just completely clarifies what is happening here with Hi-Fi Rush, whether it's going to be on the Switch or it's not going to be on the Switch. That would be the best way to handle this, so it's not continuous speculation with these rumors. But obviously we will end up seeing what does occur with this. So interesting stuff here, and we'll see if more games from Xbox do go on to other platforms. The whole talk about Xbox being third party is still very comical, because if Xbox is third party, I mean, other platforms are third party. I mean, you just have to look at the example of MLB The Show, which is literally a game that PlayStation has been developing for years and years and years. This isn't from a huge acquisition of a game that was previously in the works, and that game is literally on every single platform. So this is just the way of the industry today. Games are becoming more expensive to make. They have to find other ways to make money on the games that they do produce, or it just isn't sustainable. So we'll see if this rumor is true. And if this rumor is true, we're probably going to get that information at the next Xbox Developer Direct, as we have now some more rumors from insiders again. So again, it's not official, that the next Xbox Direct will happen during the week of January 14th. So next week is when this should be occurring. And that makes complete sense. I would take a wild guess out there and say this one is probably true. And that Developer Direct is coming. Xbox has said they want to continue to do these Developer Directs, but this comes via the Reddit posts by user Zan Torn, who has been accurate in revealing showcase events in the past. And Xantorn is claiming that the next Xbox Direct will happen during the week of January 14th, saying, first Xbox event of the year is going to be the week of the 14th. Can't speak on the Shadow Drop rumors, but the date has now been set in stone. So there's lots of stuff here going around in terms of potentially another Shadow Drop. Kiln has been the one that I've seen the most in terms of rumors, and that is a multiplayer game from Double Fine, which you can actually find 2017 gameplay of this game. They have an internal, I guess, event where they test all of these concept games, and Kiln was one of those games. So if you want to see what that game is all about, you can just look that up on YouTube, and we'll see what other announcements they have. Is the Hi-Fi Rush announcement going to be there? I think it would kind of be stupid to have that announcement at a developer direct. That kind of, I would say, takes away from the Xbox centric show that they would want this to be. And we'll see if they have any other announcements for Activision Blizzard games at this show. I think that's something a lot of people are waiting on. You could probably expect to see games like Hellblade there, because that one is coming out in 2024 and probably one of the ones that is closer to release than we think. In fact, when it comes to Hellblade, we know Xbox does their internal reviews. We heard about the whole internal review when it came to Redfall and how they were definitely off on the score they thought it was going to get. I think they had it in the 80s or 70s or something like that. And they have a similar thing here with Hellblade 2. This is, again, according to Nate the Hate, and he says here, at least internally, that is what they're anticipating. Not sure if it's fully based on mock reviews. It could just be internal mock reviews. Not sure if it's been external mock reviews, but if that is what they're projecting, it's something in the low 90s. That would be their highest Metacritic game since Gears 3. So it sounds like, if he is correct here, Xbox is extremely confident about Hellblade 2 and how they think it is going to be perceived in the media when it comes to reviews and Metacritic and all of that type of stuff. And if it's anywhere as successful as a game like Gears 3, it is going to be a huge hit to kick off, if it's the first one they do release, but to kick off the first party games that Xbox does release in 2024. So we'll see how that ends up, because we do know what happened with Redfall, but I think everything we've seen from Hellblade 2, it is looking like it is going to be a phenomenal game, a showcase game on the Series X, especially graphically. We've already seen some of the combat, which looked really good. And as somebody who, I would say, I'm not the biggest fan of the first Hellblade, I found the gameplay boring. After what we've seen so far from what they showed off in terms of the combat and in terms of the improved gameplay, I am definitely looking forward to play this one when it does drop day and date on Xbox and into Xbox Game Pass. Now, when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, we do know Xbox is getting Final Fantasy XIV, and we now have new Xbox open beta date window alongside new job announcements, playable races, and more. You can look forward to playing this game during the open beta starting on February 21st, 2024. Now, obviously, this date is subject to change, but it will be pretty cool to see how many people do jump into this game on the Xbox platform. I'm starting to actually play this game a lot on PC, so I will definitely want to check it out here on Xbox. I wonder if there's going to be a bunch of achievements and stuff too. I will definitely want to get those on Xbox and maybe even start a new character and all that type of stuff. So that's pretty cool. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV, I think a couple of years ago, people would have never expected it to ever show up on the Xbox platform. But because of the work Phil Spencer has been doing to grow in Japan, build those relationships, improve the relationship with Square Enix, and get more games on to Xbox that were previously exclusive to the PlayStation platform, and hopefully going forward, all the Final Fantasy games will be on Xbox. This is just another huge sign of the work that Xbox has been doing, and it is great to see. All right, next up here, let's talk about the MSI Claw. We talked about this last week. It did get leaked. It is another PC handheld, and the PC handheld market is huge, and it's continuing to grow. It was kicked off by the Steam Deck, which is what I have. I have Windows installed, and I use Game Pass on it. I think it's great, and I run tons of games on Game Pass that just run well on this Steam Deck. I am going to upgrade eventually. I'm just waiting for a PC handheld that is a huge jump rather than just a smaller incremental jump from the Steam Deck. And the next one that looks like is going to be announced is the MSI Claw. It's going to be announced at CES. And now we have some leaked info in terms of the actual specs here. Now, not everything is leaked. Like, we still don't know the display. However, there is one thing here that differentiates the MSI Claw from every other PC handheld, and that is the actual architecture. They are going ahead with an Intel Redwood Cove Crestmont XE-LPG architecture, the Intel Core 7 Ultra 155H APU. And it looks good on paper, just based off of what we know so far, but the question is, how well are games going to run on that Intel architecture? So I'm excited to see how this MSI Claw does, and if it is a bigger leap than the other ones that have been released from this Steam Deck. Maybe it will be the one I upgrade to. But again, I really do want to see how these games are going to be running on the MSI Claw. But look out for that. It will be announced at CES, like I said, and It's just, if you are in the Xbox ecosystem, a PC handheld is a great way to just expand out where you play. Because with Xbox Play Everywhere, it's nice sometimes just to be able to pick up a bigger device with a bigger handheld device with a big screen, comfy controls, and giving you more of that console experience when you don't want to be sitting in front of a monitor or in front of a TV. All right, and then let's just end off here. Let's talk about this last rumor here, because the PS5 Pro is seemingly going to be coming out in 2024, and this rumor isn't going away. And an insider is claiming here that the PS5 Pro is getting announced this year, but much later in the year. This is reported by Dexterdo. Tom Henderson shared his opinion in relation to rumors of the PlayStation 5 Pro announcement on Twitter, saying, "It seems like everyone is hyped that the PS5 Pro might be announced at CES. Personally, I'd be surprised if they were to announce a new console 9 to 10 months from its release, if that's the timeline they are still going with. So I'm more inclined to believe a late Q3 announcement." So if you're expecting a PS5 Pro to be announced early in the year, based off of what Tom Henderson is saying here, it probably isn't likely, as they will be releasing this in Q3 of 2024. So maybe they'll have a special event or something in like March, where it's hopefully we get more of a roadmap from PlayStation's first party studios, and then they ended off with a PlayStation 5 Pro announcement. And then the next question will be, is Xbox going to respond with any sort of new iteration of the Xbox console? We've seen from the leaked documents they have the digital Xbox Series X, which has some nice upgrades with things like Wi-Fi and stuff, but it's not an upgrade in power. Will they respond with a Xbox Series X Pro, or will they just wait until 26, 27, which the rumors are saying, and then start the next generation of Xbox? But I will leave the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, help this channel and community grow, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.